I was kind of amazed at the response I got on these tiles. Apparently, I'm just a little overcritical of my work. You guys seem to really like the stone tiles here. So, hey, that's cool. I'm glad you like them. Made me feel a little bit better about them. All the stuff you guys were pointing out. So I really appreciate the comments there. You just made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So, anyway, I've got this glued down now on the base. And I've got my little chimney in here. Now, I know last time I said that I was going to make a hardboard base for this. And I, in fact, did. It's all cut out and ready to go. Here it is. So, I've just it's just a square of hardboard. And I kind of beveled the edges a little bit with my rotary tool, so no big deal there. But I haven't attached this yet because I just realized that this thing is really, really big, because I wanted to have space to put some trees and a front yard and stuff around the tavern, and kind of build it up as its own scene, basically. So I'm not going to attach this yet, because if I did that, then it really wouldn't fit on my table very well and make it really hard to work with. So I'm going to wait till later to actually attach this. So we'll be working on some other stuff. Now, I've done a little work off camera, and I'll explain it, but it's nothing big. I've put the second story kind of together. I've glued the edge pieces together. Put a piece of balsa here on the corners just to get it started, just like the bottom floor, nothing different. And I've notched here where the chimney's going to go. So now this slides in to the chimney. So the chimney's actually going to be attached to the bottom part of this model. So the top floor and the roof are going to have to slide over this. So that's also going to help keep things in place and stable. If the chimney's there, it's the place where everything can grab on, so I won't have to deal with magnets. Now I'm going to put some other things in here to kind of help position things and lock them in, but I should not have to use magnets for any of this, and that's what I was trying to avoid, is just use construction to lock things in place instead of using magnets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just I don't have magnets, so this is what I've got to do. So I've got this in place, and here's the walkway add-on. That's just a base for it, so I haven't glued all that in yet, but let's move things around a little bit here so you can see. So this is how we're looking now. You can see that's pretty big top floor. It's kind of dark, I know, but we'll get some better pictures of it towards the end. But anyway, here's how things are looking right now. Now I have gone ahead and started cutting out some of the inside walls here. So basically, this is going to be the cutoffs for the rooms. So you can see here, we're going to have a room here and a room here, so I've got a door on each side off the walkway. Here's the divider for it. There. And I've got this end cut. So there's going to be an end cap here. And a doorway into there. So that's what I've got so far. I've got to cut, obviously, this side. There's going to be two more rooms here, so I've got to have a door here and a door here with a divider. Now, when I was starting to put this thing together, I realized how narrow these are, and getting my hands down in there to do stuff is going to be a real nightmare. So trying to do the walls like this up here would be just about impossible. Just putting the trim on is going to be a little difficult, but I can do that. But doing this stuff was just, that wasn't going to happen in this small space. So I'm going to do that on the outside of the walls. They're going to be finished just like the inside here, and probably this area over here is just going to be storage, so it's going to be kind of open, so I'll finish that way. And the outsides of these walls, up against the walkway I'm probably going to finish that way. But the insides of the rooms, I needed to come up with something different. So I did some thinking about it, and what I've decided is the inside of these rooms are actually going to be wallpapered. I've decided that this tavern is a little uppity bit of a tavern, and they're actually going to have wallpaper on their walls, you know, fancy stuff. I'm going to do that because I want some variation. It'll make it a lot easier to deal with the insides of these rooms, and I think it'll look kind of cool. So let me clear this stuff away and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing there. Okay, so for the wallpaper, what I've done, because I didn't have any 25mm wallpaper just hanging around my house, I had to make some. So what I've done is I've miniaturized some repeating textures, and then I've cut them out. So you can see, like, here is some nice textured wallpaper for this room, and I may have a couple of different wallpapers for the different rooms. I don't think I'm going to do them all the same because that would be a little boring. So you can see I'm just cutting out the textures, making sure things are all lined the same way. So it's just paper. I'm going to paste it on here, and I've got some, it's a little bit away from the edge, but this is all going to be trimmed out, so that doesn't matter. I didn't want it hanging over. So you see the divider here on the wall, and then I'm going to have to cut some for the inside of the back of this room. So it's going to be a while, but it'll allow me to finish the walls while the things are laying down, so I can just go ahead and glue this paper on, and then when I put the stuff on, I can just trim it out. So the way I did this wallpaper is I just went to cgtextures.com. That's charliegolftextures.com. CG Textures, and I'm saying it here because I will most likely forget to put a link in the doobly-doo. But anyway, you can get free textures there. They're royalty free and everything. So I went there. They actually, I forget what it was under, but they have wallpapers there from the 40s and the 70s. Not exactly what I was looking for, but they had enough stuff in there to make do, and most of their textures are tileable. So I downloaded a few of those and resized them. Now this one's kind of large because I was experimenting, so I'd want the actual texture resized smaller than this. But I used GIMP to resize it, and then I used GIMP to tile that texture enough times to where it was big enough for what I wanted. So, like for instance, this one I got a whole page of these textures here, and just laid my piece out on it and cut it out to match. Just make sure all the textures are facing the right way when you cut the additional pieces. I told myself that from the beginning, and I've already made that mistake twice. So fortunately, it's just reprint the things and go. So I actually have a couple of different textures here that I've probably going to use. I kind of like this one, the stripes, the horizontal stripes, vertical stripes. Oh my gosh, I do that every time. Vertical stripes in the room. I think that'll look kind of cool with these colors. I've got some red. I'm not sure I'm happy with this one. I may or may not use that, but I've got a bunch of others that I'm going to try out. But basically, that's all there is to it. Now, I reduced most of these textures. I reduced to about 40 pixels wide, and then tiled them about 1,000 times. But it's just, you just have to kind of experiment with it to see how it comes out, and then save it. I just saved it as a JPEG and printed the image off on my color printer. So then I'm going to paste them down and glue them up, and that is going to be how the insides of these rooms are done. And then of course we'll have more decorations and stuff in there, but for right now I'm just trying to get basic structure done. So that's where we are. Next time, hopefully, I will have a lot of this interior stuff done. I may go ahead and start finishing the exterior of this. I could do that off camera because it's exactly the same way we did the first floor, so you guys don't really need to see me do that again. But the outside's going to be finished just like that. There is a small problem I'm going to have to overcome, and that is when I put this wall in here, this cross wall, I have realized that my windows these windows right here, there's one on this side and one on the other side, actually over a little too far. So what I'm going to have to do is actually move these windows over. So I'm just going to take and cut out a little bit here, flip this around and put it here, and then I've moved the window over. So not a major operation, just kind of a little pain, but you know, we'll get past it and move on. So next time, hopefully I'll have a little bit more to show you here, and we'll talk about the next thing that we're going to do. Until then, you guys have a good one. Bye.